Welcome back to another Talkers on the Wall video. We are fresh in store. Episode 6 came out yesterday. We're both caught up on it. I dropped a little reaction video earlier today, and I like to get the thoughts from Luke first because I'm rapid fire with this shit. I'm like J. Jonah Jameson. I'm just pumping these videos out. So, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I liked it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Like it was all story. It was all flashback. I didn't have a problem with it. Obviously the game does that a lot. I know I compare the show to the game every time, but I mean, it's a show based off a game. What can you do?
Yeah, no, I mean, literally, like, I'm gonna do it again. Game of Thrones. Yeah, it's not like that. The book is not like. Yeah, so like, come on. I mean, the source material. I think what's really cool about this almost like podcast is that I'm more show oriented and you're more game oriented, and
Mhm.
most of the time we both have the same opinions on it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. Like I would say that it kind of brought me back to the glory days of season 1. Like,
yeah, dude. I was
um,
thinking the same thing.
yeah, it
Like
was
it
like,
just, I don't know if it was just like seeing Pedro Pascal again or what, but it seemed like this episode was a lot better than the episodes we've had so far. Yeah, I just thought it was better, and I don't know if it's just the writing itself or what. Just to get into it more a little bit, I think Ellie, like she feels like more like a kid, and I think that's something Bella Ramsey does like really good. Is like she feels just like a kid,
yeah,
and like she feels like that like angsty teenager and everything when they're like going through the birthdays and everything, and then it
mm-hmm,
like slowly turns and everything, and she's like starting to grow up, and then the more I watched this season, I kind of wish they would have done a recast for her, like an older Ellie, maybe.
yeah.
I don't know if that's just me.
No, I was battling in the front lines in the comment sections on TikTok. I was like, we need a recast. Like I like Bella Ramsey. She's a really good actor. Just
Mm.
not for season 2, Ellie. Like, if I'm being
For like
honest,
for an adult, yeah. I mean, she
yeah,
just doesn't. Just it just doesn't feel like an adult. She just feels like too goofy and whimsical, and like that's not what The Last of Us is
over the
supposed to
top.
be.
Like, try to be a tough guy. Like, we even mentioned it
Mm.
earlier. Like, Dina's like, you don't have to act like a tough guy. And what does Ellie do? Like the
Yeah.
next episode, oh fuck it, fuck it. like uh,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like there should have been a recast. HBO is not afraid to recast. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that's just what it really should have came down to. But we're here now. And as far as episode 6 too, it felt really safe and simple as far as
Mm.
writing goes. But that's perfect. I
Yeah.
mean, as far as like how outlandish and almost comedic they were writing these characters, like in like
Mm.
like at the start of, I believe, episode 5, where it was really cringe, and then the
Oh
end
yeah.
of
She's like,
like,
I've turned on the lights.
yeah, and like what, like the Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just felt like these were actually real people. Like, and that's kind of
Yeah.
what I've been keeping it consistent. I was like, when these characters act like they're just goofing off and they're like just like Ellie does not seem like a real person, It's a supernatural
Yeah.
world, but at the end of the day, we're not going to
Mm.
relate to these people. Like, not relate, but like, feel for these people if they don't act like
Yeah.
actual people. And
Mm.
what the real elements was, like, they acted like real people this episode. Like, everything like felt real. Like, even when
Mm.
Joel goes up to just like the therapist, and she's like, do I have a fucking like doctor open like sign, like
Yeah.
Lucy from the Peanuts? And
Yeah.
I was like, that's so fair. Like, and he's like, yeah, yeah, that's fair. And then uh go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like yeah, you were saying it was felt lived in, like going through the birthdays and everything like that. We don't get a lot of like in between. It's just like the year later, year later, year later, every time on her birthday, and it feels like they feel like a family. You know, like the first birthday he gets that cake done and everything like that, and then the second year he wants to top it, so he brings her to the dinosaur and the astronaut and everything. It's just like you kind of feel for him and everything, and you see like how their relationship grew past season one, and then like the what was it, her 17th birthday, he walks in on her like getting tattooed and everything like that and smoking weed
Tattoo,
and
drugs, and sex. He's like, so you're just gonna combine all of them out at once? Like,
yeah, yeah, he's like, so
yeah,
you're just doing all of it, all right. But yeah, like you know, he felt like a dad. He felt like, you know, you could tell that he was like upset and a little angry, and then it's like it shows like that night, and she's like trying to move her shit out, and he's just like, whoa, you know, like come on, you know, like I know we had a fight, but you know, like let's talk about this. I can get you set up. Just give me a few days and everything, and it's like she's
yeah.
growing up and everything.
I would say what's kind of good over to the most like controversial part of the episode. The whole Eugene thing, like it was referenced earlier in the
Mm-hmm.
season, and
Mm-hmm.
personally, I didn't have a problem with it. You know, like as far as ways to like get the truth out of Joel,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fine. You know, was it a little fillery in a flashback? Sure, but I mean, it got the truth out, and you know, it was a safe way to get that
Mm-hmm.
truth out, and I was okay with it.
Yeah, it definitely just like served a purpose as to because like Ellie was already having these doubts like on
Yeah,
like before the run she was having the doubts, she had like all the questions and everything, and then like her seeing him do all that, it like clicked in her head like, oh no, he did kill them. Like I might not have 100% proof right now, but like there's no way he didn't, because like
yeah,
she said at the end, it's like you had the same face as when you told me that these people got killed, you know, like you lied to me and everything. So it was just I don't know. I thought it was good. I thought like nothing too crazy.
when it comes down to it, yeah. Uh, as I feel like when it comes down to the scene that it leads to, I have already gone on record to say that this is the best scene in the whole series when it's Joel and Ellie on the porch, and you
Oh
know,
yeah.
like they just can't help but just having tears in their eyes, and it feels so real, and
Mm,
it's emotional too,
yeah.
because you obviously know what's gonna happen to Joel. Pedro Pascal
Mm,
gives the best scene as Joel, in my opinion, and I would say that Bella Ramsey gives her best Ellie performance that
oh
we see
yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this whole episode, you know, I'm glad we got to see like the aftermath of New Year's, because we saw it in episode one, but I think in episode one she just like walks past and it cuts, so you don't know. And I was kind of surprised that they did that, because like in the game, same thing happens. She'll like walk past and then she comes back up and they talk, and it's the same. I think almost the same exact dialogue, if not very close.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, you know, the same thing. I thought it was like really well done, and the acting or the performances were really good. And then, like Bella Ramsey, I think did a really good job in these scenes. And I don't know if it's just because like she doesn't have to be as or not serious, as like upset, angry, or whatever.
I
You
I
know?
would also say that there's just less pressure off Bella.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
because it's her and Pedro, and like
yeah,
they Pedro's obviously like a powerhouse on itself, but like
yeah.
them like going off of each other was like really good.
And I feel like, especially in season two, every Joel scene that we get, he almost has to be the focal point of it. One, because he was your main character in
Mm,
season one, and the fans like
mm,
are like, I don't even think it's close. Like I'd probably say like, who's your favorite character in The Last of Us to a random person, and like I bet 80% of them would say Joel. He's just a fan
yeah,
favorite that, you know, it's like they gotta have him in the scenes and in the main role. So yeah, I was arguing with
yeah.
this guy on TikTok about the scene we were just talking about with Ellie and Joel on the porch, and he was
Mm,
like, This serves way better at the end of the game, and I wish it would have stayed at the end of the series." Which I completely disagree with, because one, I pretty much went on to say that the game is the game and the show is the show. And the way they've written the show so far, they've botched this whole revenge, like this whole like
Yeah.
right from the rip. So I almost think that she crashed out. We saw like an Ellie crash out in episode 5, like late episode 5. And that
Yeah.
felt, that was redeemable and that was fine. That was good.
Mhm.
And now we get this flashback of Joel and like how much like she like it reminds not only to us as the audience, it also reminds Ellie, because you can just see it like after she kills Nora, and then she walks off. She has the flashback, and you can really just make the argument, or I don't really think it's much of an argument, that she's thinking about those moments as she's walking through the rain at the end of the episode. And it's just going to lead to more, and it's not just a reset for Ellie, it's a reset for the audience, and I feel like it's going to be really impactful to really see Ellie just go on a full-on rampage in the finale, and then we get
Yeah.
Abby's perspective, and I think I would say that could save the season, because episode 5 was wishy-washy. Episode 6 was good, and then 1 and 2 were fine. Then you have a couple
Yeah.
stinkers in the middle, but it's
Mhm.
like a salvageable season, and I would watch
Right.
season 3 because of it.
Yeah. So what I'm hoping they do is, like with her going through and seeing all these like memories of Joel and with Joel and the night before and everything like that. I'm hoping, because at the end of the episode you get that like one few second scene where she's like sees the base again, the theater again, and
Yeah.
she just looks like kind of pissed off. So I'm hoping next episode she's just like, like this reminded her of everything that like her and Joel went through and everything like that, and she just gets pissed off and like you were saying, and like goes on rampage on the last episode and everything, and then leads into season 3 being Abby's point of view. I think because like Abby needs to get like her time in the sun, because like this is a
100%.
game for both of them, or this is a show for both of them. It's two sides of the same coin and everything like that. So all right, so real quick, just before anything, I am currently recording this at work, so that's why it's probably a little weird, and there's probably going to be a lot of cuts because the grind never stops,
Yeah.
But I just want to talk about like 2 things before we
Ooh.
wrap this up. The scene at the beginning, before the infection and everything, like we get to see Joel and Tommy when they were younger, and they see his dad, and Joel's like defending Tommy and everything, but his dad like sits him down and is like, hey, like you defended your brother, like I'm not gonna beat you for that. And he talks about how his dad, Joel's grandfather, like beat his dad and everything, and Joel was like, well, why do you do it to us, like if you know what this is? And he was like, listen, I know I might not be the best, but I'm definitely doing better than my dad did, and maybe if you ever have kids of your own, you'll be better than I am. And I thought that was just like a really good like telling of his like whole thing. And then obviously at the end of the episode, we get the same thing, Joel saying the same thing to Ellie, and yeah, he's not like physically abusive or anything, and I wouldn't even go as far to say he is like really that like abusive at all, but I think it was more of like the lying and everything that like really hurt her and everything, and that's why he like brought that thing back up again, said the same thing back to her. And I thought it was just like, I thought it was like a great callback, I guess, reference, or like ties it all up.
Yeah. A big thing too is that not only is it just a revenge trip for Ellie, it's more so that Abby just took away the the rebuilding of that relationship between Ellie and Joel. That like when she's like, I like to try and forgive you, and then he gets
yeah, because it's like
teed off on a
it's
part
like
3.
it's like a few days after that he like dies and everything, I think.
Hmm.
Like that should be like a lot of Ellie's, like we should see that more in Ellie, like more pissed off and everything. But we don't see that, and hopefully like with the last episode her like tweaking on Nora, hopefully we get to see more of that in the last episode.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I think I'm out of everything that I want to talk about.
I'm out of everything here. Like, I mean, nothing but like good things, you know. These videos are longer when we shit on it. No, but but yeah, no. I mean, if you ain't got nothing, I think we're good to wrap it up. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good.
All right. See you,
Yeah.
Talkers family. It's been real.
See ya.